now. We can't be looking at that. We got to look at the
We
camera.
live.
All right, so much for that.
Hey, hey, hey. Hello. Welcome to 28th and Jefferson. We are so glad to be back here together once again with the crew, Josh and Pat.
What up? What up?
In the building.
How have you guys been? We've been on quarantine lockdown now for what?
11 days, I'm teeing out.
Yep.
It's been a long time. Shout out to all the listeners that have not died of COVID yet.
Yes.
Because, I mean, it's been a lot of COVID out here. It'll take you out. It's a weird one. But every time you think it's a game, somebody catch that thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
So I don't know how, I don't know how y'all doing on Tinder and stuff right now.
Now, how you doing on Tinder, Mr. Pull Up? Send me your address.
I'm decent.
Yeah.
These days, you got to go to your old roster. You can't do no new.
I don't know, Josh. Your history with the old rosters, boy.
You gotta find something old because
some old and reliable.
Yeah, or at least find somebody to work at home. Because if she go to work every day, you in trouble. Especially if you don't know her. Nowadays, you can't even, like, if she made out with somebody last week, she high risk. Back in the days, that's you charge to the game. Nowadays, if she made out with somebody last week, you could be cooked.
How close is you to pulling up though?
With me?
Yeah.
I've been chilling low key.
Nah, you know good and
been
well you was
I've
gonna
been
try to pull up on somebody.
I've been on ice cold chill lately, man. It's dangerous out here. So used to be scared of STDs, not COVID to grab you.
Yeah, you just got to be careful out here in these streets. But I believe Nashville is opening back up slowly. I think we're moving in. We're phase 2. Modified phase 2.
Yeah.
So concerts, they did that for them, so they can have their little country music.
Yeah.
They can have them whack ass open mics at the bars.
Yeah. What they call them, the honky tonk.
Yeah. Because they was protesting and complaining. But anyway.
See what happened to them.
Outside of COVID, well, first, before we move forward, I would like to have a moment of silence for Chadwick Boseman. We lost the real one.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna count to 5. All right. Woo, that one really hit home.
Some good work in before he dipped though.
Man,
he definitely did.
I ain't mad at that.
Yeah.
I was definitely looking forward to Black Panther 2.
They gonna get you right. They gonna take care of you.
They gonna figure it out.
I'm looking forward to see how they're going to move forward with that. But salute to him.
He hit different because Fast and Furious, they probably gonna come out with some more stuff. What's that little the white dude?
They had Paul Walker.
But he didn't hit like Chadwick Boseman.
He
didn't. He didn't hit like, bro. Let's be real.
Not for us, he did.
And they already had 10 of those. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
They're gonna have to go hard trying to remix that Black Panther.
Well, in the comic book, Shuri becomes Black Panther anyway.
Right.
So there's kind of the super fucked up how this happened, but we still have the storyline can still keep going.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I would imagine that they had probably shot some other scenes that didn't make any of the previous. What was he in? 3 Marvel movies?
Yeah, the Marvel
3 or
movies,
4 of them. So they can probably take some scenes out of the other joints, kind of,
and make it work.
Some respect on bro for doing all cultural movies.
Man,
I mean, he wasn't like they didn't throw bro no skirt. You know what I mean? No disrespect if that's how you get down, but bro went straight for the culture every time.
Yeah.
So it's almost like with Kobe when he passed, like the work had been put in.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you can go ahead and rest in peace, low key.
Yeah.
As opposed to when Nipsey passed, it was like he was almost like he didn't get.
He had just started getting a full head of steam rolling.
He didn't get to do it yet. You know what I mean? So this one, it felt a little different. You know what I mean?
And it's wild considering that he played Jackie Robinson and he passed away on Jackie Robinson Day though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The irony.
Tough.
Yeah.
So rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman, man. Rest up, G.
He did his thing.
He did.
Tory Lanez shot a woman.
I didn't really want to talk about that.
I don't know if that was on the program.
No, I'm just saying we ain't gotta stay on it.
I mean,
he need his ass beat.
Look, the full story's not out. Like I need to know. I'm not saying that she's lying about what happened. We need more details because right now everything is a little
if somebody come out and say
fuzzy.
Josh shot me, I'm gonna say something.
And
if I don't say nothing, I popped her. I'm sorry.
But maybe it could be a legal reason why he can't talk.
Man.
So, but anyway, I don't know. There's still something out there that's going on.
He definitely shot the shit out of her.
They said he shot straight, and that's why he hit her in the heel. He shot because he's short.
Yeah.
He shot straight.
Well, first and foremost, that is unacceptable.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Regardless of whatever took place prior
ain't
to
nothing
that.
Can say to make me shoot her with a pistol. You got
that's totally
cocky and then shoot her.
But the thing is, he already got. I kind of feel like he already got that little man syndrome.
You already know, bro.
He already got little man syndrome, and you know what I'm saying. Like just the smallest little thing, like sends him.
You can't like
triggers him.
Like Tyronn Lue can't shoot Kobe Bryant. Like you can't like. You're not good enough to shoot a Megan Thee Stallion, bro. You 73 on the charts if you lucky. She got 2 number ones. You know what I mean? You a bozo compared to it. Like your music is decent if we being real nice to you.
Yeah.
You know what
I mean? He definitely didn't. I feel like with him being so small, he just kind of is always appearing to have to prove himself. You know what I'm saying? And it sucks. Like nigga, you got a body. His bodyguard probably 7 feet 350, bro. Like nigga, you pay him to pull the trigger, bro.
He got rage in his system.
And
George Zimmerman still out here.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that.
Yeah. No, you
George
dead.
Zimmerman out here.
Yeah.
How many cops you done shot? Not that I'm promoting that, but I'm saying, darn, you see a racist cop shoot a black person. Cool. Megan Thee Stallion say you got a little boy on you. And now you want to shoot
you ready? He was some slaw for that, bro. And he will never be able to bounce back. It's curtains for that, bro.
Yeah, his career is over.
Yeah, so rest in peace to talented musical career, bro. That shit is in the bottom of the ocean now.
Bro. You can't let that slide.
Yeah,
let that slide. I mean, it's overseas on all black women. You know what I mean? We can't.
Right. He got to be better, bro. At the end of the day, he just got to be better. So
sorry about that, Tory Lanez.
Speaking of, no, it's a terrible segue, but speaking of shooting people though. No, I mean, like, are we not gonna talk about what happened up in Wisconsin briefly?
We can roll into that
because that I think that'll segue into our guest being here.
We gotta wait so we can get the guest take on that.
Okay, well let's do that then. Let's do that.
Okay, well we'll wait. What else we got? What else is the word on the street? Because you got your little notepad over here.
Prominent Nashville activist called me a bitch ass nigga.
What?
Wow.
Okay, that's not anything people want to know.
I just need y'all's take on this.
People don't care.
I don't know.
He wants the family's opinion.
I just need y'all's opinion on this. Be real. And don't be a hater. I know you like to hate. Wow. I threw a suicide joke out there. It was a
why? You can't play with suicide like that.
I know. I seen that.
So you trash already for that.
You suicide, ain't you?
No, I'm not.
Listen, okay.
See, that's rude.
If you are, I'm gonna pray for you. That's why I was gonna ask. That's why I asked.
Because you don't know my situation.
Right.
That could have been a trigger for me.
I was gonna say.
So you can't joke like that.
That's what I wasn't even joking. I was dead. I was trying. Did she suicide? If so, let's pray for her. That's what I was gonna do. Do you pray? Do you know him? But listen.
First day back. Wow.
Right.
Okay. Tell me this.
So what happened?
Get what I say. I said the number one reason for suicide in America is standing behind the old black man getting lotto tickets at the gas station. I thought it was decent. It got about 9 likes on it.
Why is that funny?
Because the old black man and the gas station always take so long. You take so long and make you want to kill yourself. It's a joke. Gal said
it wasn't funny.
Well, I guess what I thought is lame don't think that's funny.
Your jokes are not funny.
Well, it's funny, but a lot of lame people don't think they are. And that's what I expressed to her. And then she said, you're a bitch. Well, first she came at me and said, you dumb as hell. She said, you dumb as hell. You need to delete this shit. And she had too many followers to be saying that. You know what I mean? I was like, you're gonna spin the narrative and try to get me canceled. So I was like, man, I just feel like I'm a comedian. I gotta tell jokes. If you don't like it, keep scrolling. And maybe you kind of lame. And then she said, you a bitch ass nigga. And there we go.
Did you favorite it?
Favorite
her tweet.
She was dead ass, and I ain't favorite.
You should have favored it.
I ain't favorite. I thought it was a little much, you know, because I feel like it's a thin line between. Let's be a buck. Millennials, we getting a little lame and weak on these. We can't joke. Can I get some leeway with that?
That you can. I totally agree.
God damn,
I would definitely.
You think I literally told you to kill yourself, or you think if you killed yourself, I wouldn't be sad, or like, is it that's it? I'm clearly joking. Like, where does the Golly,
man, the
kind
generation.
of lame with our generation.
Well,
man.
the days that
There's a fine line.
the days that we had coming up, bro, like it's over with. There was no line, like, because I don't necessarily call it roasting or joking or bullying. I call it character building.
You can't.
But but apparently character
and
building
I believe
is
that some jokes are out of pocket.
is canceled
Like if I say,
now.
"Oh my God, you trying to kill yourself? You a jerk." That ain't funny. Whoopie whoop. That's clearly absurd. It's absurdism. I wouldn't kill myself for being in line after a guy in the gas station. It's a joke. Now, mind you can say, "I don't think that's funny." That's all you can say. Trying to get me canceled. I just think we tiptoeing on a fine line of almost Karenism. That's Karen behavior, if you ask me. Is it that serious? Is that tweet gonna make you off yourself? No.
What else is on the streets?
Oh yeah,
other than
Josh
that?
make it big. He's
'Cause-
getting canceled, but he'll bounce back though. Yeah, he'll bounce back.
I don't know. Okay, you know what? Let's just switch over into the guest.
Go ahead.
Let's
just
do that.
because yeah. So today we have a guest with us. We have Jamel Gooch, which is known by just Gooch. So thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate
For
it.
sure, but in order to call me Gucci, you gotta be in the right spots.
Oh,
Okay.
You can call
Duly
me Gucci.
noted.
Everybody in this room call me Gucci.
That's
you know
a
what I'm
fact.
saying?
I don't know.
Like some people gonna get a nasty response if they ain't from the community. You call me Gucci.
Okay,
Hey.
so you got to be from the community
Yeah.
to call him Gooch.
Yeah.
Okay.
We definitely called him Gooch growing up.
For sure.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
You outside the culture, it might make him feel the type of way.
No, for sure.
Gotcha,
It's
gotcha.
super weird when I'm walking down the hallway in the high school, like, hey, Gucci man, Gucci, who walk?
Yeah.
Down the hallway, and it's kind of strange. You get substitute teachers looking at you like,
Yeah.
But yeah.
Gotcha. Well, before we get started, so for those people who don't know you, like myself, just give a little bit about your background, who you are, and what you do.
For sure. So I try to like keep it concise, and I go backwards. So I do a couple of things. I wear several different hats across the community, but the through line is police accountability. I'm really in these spaces trying to like defend Black lives at all costs and doing whatever I got to do to make sure that next Black body don't hit the ground with any type of violence. I'm from here. I grew up with most of the men in this room. You know what I'm saying?
What part?
North Nashville.
Okay.
I'm north with it.
Come on.
Clay
Now.
Street, right off of Buck Cannon.
Okay.
Off Osage, Underwood, Scoville. My family, I graduated from TSU in 2015. I took 2 years off, really did my ancestry because when I was born, I ain't had no big mama. I ain't had no grandfather. My uncles got swept up in a RICO case. And so I was pretty much the only man around. And so with that, when I graduated in 2015, really searching for myself, right? I did like extensive archival research. And so where it led me back to where I just kind of ended it at is like 1794, right? My first ancestor gets to Tennessee in 1794. That's 2 years before it gets to the state. So when we arrived with the names that like everybody in this room know. Donaldsons, the McGavics, the Ingrams, the Belmonts, all them motherfuckers. But we ain't got shit when it comes to compare to them. You know what I'm saying? Most of my family still living in poverty or been displaced. Out of North Nashville specifically. So I really kind of attack this work with like an ancestral passion when I'm coming to get what's old. Like shit.
What
That's
made
just who I am.
what made you when you graduated? What made you go that route? Like was it something that happened, or that's just always in your mind? What made you say, you know what, I need to figure out my roots and figure out what the hell going on?
Yeah. Like so, knowledge of self is the best love that you can have, right? And so when we talk about each other being brothers, what I'm thinking about is that word other, right? You my brother outside of me, a reflection of me. So if I don't love myself, I can't love my brother.
That's right.
Right. And so in order for me to love myself, I gotta know who I am. So I was really searching for a place, right? It's like I got a very prominent last name, Gooch, right? Like anybody in Nashville that know a Gooch, we probably cousins or related in some sort of way. You know my brother.
Yeah.
Like we roll, we deep. And so questions like why? Why is there so many Gooch concentrated in North Nashville? And the reason that I found out is that one of the people that settled Rutherford County of Murfreesboro was a guy named John Claiborne Gooch. He was a physician, right? And when he got there, he set up a plantation. It's now Stewart's Ferry Air Base, and across the street is Robert E. Lee Park. Park.
Yeah, Victory. Yeah.
Robert E. Lee ain't winning
I've
shit.
been in Smyrna.
Yep.
But that whole place was a plantation called Goochland Plantation, where most of my family was enslaved. And around Nashville, you have like, and they were cotton picking slaves. I'm gonna get that straight. A lot of like plantations around Nashville. When you talk about Hadley, when you talk about Belmont, Lipscomb, these larger Hermitage, they are like 100 plus slaves. That's when you got like a Fortune 500 size company, right? Goochland Plantation, just to get people in this room reference, was 142 slaves deep.
Wow.
So we talking about a very significant piece of land. So when the Union Army gets there and 1862, like my whole family, Gooches, migrate to 32nd Avenue North. They kind of pull their money together. They buy a couple pieces of land on Osage and 32nd Avenue North. They live like 16 to a 900 square foot home and type shit. And they just get it out the mud. When I talk about my Campbell family, because my whole last name is Campbell-Gooch, I track that ancestry back literally to Andrew Jackson and being enslaved on the Hermitage. Even when Andrew Jackson's plantation goes bankrupt, right? After he becomes president, but I can't remember. I'm sorry, I'm getting off track. But when his plantation becomes bankrupt, they move the majority of their slaves down to Louisiana. And then once the Civil War is over, that plantation becomes Parchment, right? Like a penitentiary where it is like supermax. So my family is just like pretty much tied in. Like every single thing you can think about, we participate in every single war. We participate in every single movement, from the Civil Rights Movement to the Free African Movement, and we still don't have shit. So it's like, what made me go that route is like love for self, but also love of my brothers, which is like a reflection of me outside myself. So, so really trying to get to that right there.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's deep right there.
Look at all that, you like, shit, I owe them. You know what I mean? Like when you look deep into your history and realize what they went through, like, man, I can't be out here bullshit.
No, for sure. And they like you too, though.
That's a fact.
They all us at this table.
Yeah.
And that's the part that, like, I just want to like keep queuing up. That's why I'm so passionate about this shit. Because not only do the federal government owe us, let's get this right, our local government owe us. Like when we talk about our local budget, right? We all heard this shit over and over again. We are in a budget crunch.
Yeah.
We heard this shit over and over again. But when you look at the numbers, they spent over $12 million on police helicopters. While we got schools, right, that are underserved. We know we got a wave of evictions coming for this recession that we in. There was all this time spending money on locking us up, right? And when there's a community need that's lacking, whether that be food, clothing, shelter, the basics, what our local state government does and our federal government does, it fills that gap with police. So since they know that poverty's coming our way, they're gonna decide to lock us up and renovate jails. They also took $8 million and renovated their mounted patrol dog, their horses. We got schools we got Pearl, who has most of their teachers are not career educators. Right? They got mostly like 1 year college students that are trying to do the best that they can. But it's different when you walk up in a classroom, you got an old black woman that have been out.
Man, listen.
That's totally different.
That's a big difference.
But them people don't exist no more because our schools are underfunded.
And you're right, and it's a trickle down effect because at this point, who wants to go be a teacher? When we was young, it was like, I'm gonna be a teacher. Why would you be a teacher when your teacher crying because she got to leave work and go be an Uber driver?
Yo, you don't know how many students that I walked in their class. Teacher getting fried. I mean, they laying the teacher
That's a fact.
out.
That's a fact, bro.
Crying.
That's a fact.
Like, yo,
man,
all,
they ain't got it no more.
You can't let these kids see you crying here like this.
That's
Right.
Yeah, these new teachers ain't got that tough love, bro.
Man, bro, like they so broke. It's like I gotta go in here and work because of the love of teaching.
For sure.
And then I gotta leave and go work just to pay the rent, not to go on vacation. That shit crazy.
What would you have done if you walked? I had a fourth grade teacher named Miss Elizabeth. Shout out to her, she's still alive. I couldn't imagine what type of hell I'm coming back to that classroom with if I see Miss Elizabeth bagging groceries and Kroger. Like I ain't saying nothing against like workers.
Right.
But that's
it's a necessity that they gotta do now.
And they gotta spend the majority of their time teaching. So these people are not receiving any type of like support when it comes from our local government, and it's not because the money ain't there.
Right.
Like, they get that right.
It's just more profitable to take the money from them and give it to the police so we can lock these niggas up.
Yep.
Let me bring it even more full circle. Here locally, we have city council members who sit on the boards and are getting financed by Core Civic, Americans for Prosperity. That's your two biggest PACs here. So I'm just gonna cue it all the way up. I'm a city council person. I'm being bankrolled by private prisons, and I vote to expand the police budget.
Right.
What type of bullshit is that? Like that is corruption.
And so what he's saying is, if you on a city council and they talking about where the money's gonna go, because you decide that, if you got somebody in your pocket saying, "Hey, you vote this way, I'm gonna throw you some bread."
Yep.
That's what they doing, but it's costing black folks because we gotta go to jail.
And so when we sit down and we hit that power map, right? When we really map out where the power is, especially with city council, you really only need. Although, let me even rewind it, because when we talk about things like this, especially when I'm breaking bread and fellowshipping with my young folks who may not even understand basic shit like 3 branches of government type shit, which is like
it ain't taught.
It's kept away from us on purpose.
Right.
Right? When they talk, when I'm breaking it down like that, I'm saying like even with our government, right? We have what they call a mayor strong system.
Okay, talk to me.
So what that means is on local levels, you usually have 2 forms of government that exist in the United States. You have a city manager position, or you have a mayor dominant position, right? I'm gonna start with the one we don't have.
Okay.
A city manager's position, right? If we're all in a small town in Texas, right? All of us are, right? We all city council members. We all represent our own district. Y'all might nominate me to be the mayor in title. All that means is that I run the conversation. All of us have an equal vote when it comes to the table.
Yeah.
Right? That is city manager. I'm the city manager. We're all making group decisions together.
Right.
Okay. Versus a mayor dominant system, which means that mayor's right here. Everything else falls up under the mayor. Anything that the mayor says goes. So in our system, the city council is the one that controls the purse. The mayor is the one that presents what you give it to.
Yeah.
Right? And so another wild fact that's about Nashville, we have the 2nd largest city council in the country.
Very little known fact.
Right?
How many we got on our?
Like 41. Right?
What's
the national average? Yeah, that's what I was
I'm
gonna
gonna give you a reference. The largest #1 in Chicago, they got 4 million people that live there.
Right.
We barely got a meal.
Right.
So when you disseminate that much power, it's really hard to get things done, right?
Yeah.
Because now you need a vote +1 to get anything past city council.
Yeah.
So now we got to wrangle up 21 different folks that's representing these very small districts that might, if we talk about, let's talk about 37208 as a district, right? Where we have concentrated pockets of poverty, we have hyper gentrification, we have white folks on one corner that looks like fucking
Calabasas out here.
Portlandia.
Shit like that. Then you go over 2 blocks onto Underwood, straight up. You know what I'm saying? And so like you might get a constituency that is like all over the place.
Right.
So where the city council member gonna go? Straight towards the money.
Yep.
Who's donating to me?
Right.
And so like when we talk about a power map, we really only need 12 city council members to really get shit done here.
Right.
So my question to you is, why can't we ever get shit done?
That's a good question.
Why can't we ever do it? It's like we have political officials in our midst that are running, couching their platforms in progressive language. Get behind those closed doors and act like a conservative Republican.
Man, that's a fact.
Yeah.
I'm trying to change a park name right now.
This is going on 2 years for you, ain't it?
And we had a council member before that. It was like Ed Kendall, who just at the end of the day was too tired. He didn't want no smoke at all.
Yeah.
And then now it almost feels like I'm getting support behind closed doors, but I can't give you support in public.
And so,
he's not in office anymore, though, right?
No, he's not.
I'm talking about like
Brandon Taylor now. It's Brandon Taylor now. And what I was gonna say, Josh, is what that is called. That's called 2 different things. It's called movement capture, right? You shut them down by talking to them behind closed doors. You never say anything on the record. So therefore, you cannot hold me accountable.
Yeah.
What I'm saying.
Wow.
And then second, it's called demobilization. right? It's like I'm gonna give you affirmation behind closed doors.
Make you feel good.
Words, money, liquor,
right,
weed, coke, all that. I'm gonna get that shit behind closed doors.
Yep.
So when we get out here in the public,
when them cameras rolling,
I don't know what you talking. You know, you know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Like I'm winking at you, like yo, like you still want this shit?
That's literally
what
what it is.
Fuck with me.
I'm like, he's like, yeah. This all right. Well, can you come with me over here, shoot the video, and talk
like,
about? Oh well, man, I got a whoop-de-woo or no response at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So before we even I just want to hold that because I think what this current time has told us is that like we have more public officials that are more loyal to companies, cages, and cops than to their actual community members.
Okay, well, with that being said, let me ask you this here.
Run it down.
Since the Community Oversight Board, which you're on, was put in by voting.
Yeah, for sure.
The community came out, made that happen.
64%.
So it makes me say now, so that with that being known, it makes me say, damn, we got to go out there and vote and support the system. But then on the other hand, what we're just saying, it's almost like, should we just tear it down? Where do you stand with? Should we tear it down? Or should we vote? What's the solution in this?
So I'm gonna answer that two different ways, Josh. I fucks with you too, but I want to say I love you, dog.
Real talk.
Yeah, I want to say I love you, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we done been through the thicket. I mean, me and Josh done been in like
the team
parties. They shooting, we ducking and running type shit. I be like, Bell Roll type.
4X red teeth for no reason.
All day, listening to Dipset all day, every day. So I just want to say this, like, I'm also deputy director of Gideon's Army, and our mission is to dismantle, disrupt, and destroy the school to prison pipeline. So we need to be doing all three at the same time.
Okay.
When we talk about dismantling political systems, let's dismantle them, but let's also transfer power. So the difference between like let's use a similar circumstance. So let's zero in South Africa apartheid.
Okay.
And let's talk about Jim Crow South. Right.
Okay.
Pretty similar systems.
Yeah.
Of exclusion.
Yeah.
Right.
But with one, you get a complete transfer and overhaul of power at its disruption. On the other, you end up with neoliberal Democrats couching their racism in Black liberation words. So you get a trick on one end.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so when we talk about these things, when it came to Jim Crow, it never really ended. It just changed and shifted into policing.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Cash money bail.
Yeah.
Right. Private prisons. But when we talk about South Africa apartheid, they completely overtoppled their shit, changed it. They had truth and reconciliation boards. They brought the white apartheid folks in, put them in front of a jury, had them publicly say that they fucked up, and what they gonna do to correct it. But in the South, what you get is neoliberal Democrats. You get
talking that pretty talk, as Malcolm said.
Right. And then behind closed doors, functioning with, right? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like we need to dismantle, disrupt, decommission, defund, but also at that same time, transfer power, right? Because we need builders. We need everybody participating in design. We need architects. We need builders. We need thinkers. We need mathematicians. We need nurses. We need cooks. The moment requires participation on all levels at this point in time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Yep.
Good.
Now tell me this. You've been with the COB. How long have y'all been a thing?
I want to say this is my second year, so I want to say since 2017.
2017.
Or October 2016. I'm sorry.
I
got that shit wrong.
No, it feel like 2 years. Now, tell me, do you feel like it's been effective, or has the city? Because from what I've seen, the city and the police department have been doing whatever they could to just dance around anything y'all try to do, or we try to do, I guess I should say.
No, I appreciate you framing that as like them dancing around.
Yeah,
that's the perfect political analysis.
Yeah,
whenever you have a government devaluing itself, that's how you know like it's time to build, because that motherfucker about to consume itself. I think the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says, if you have a nation where anything goes, that nation's gonna be gone. Type shit. And like Nashville, we're in I think Black folks here are in a unique place where we can lead that transfer of power that we need. just about building amongst ourselves.
That's
Because
right.
it's already it's time's up.
Yep.
Because we see right now with all of our systems, you can literally point them out: healthcare, Medicare, education, because they were unwilling to update. And because they were rooted in racism and anti-black narratives, they are expired.
Yeah.
So it's just like time for us to build. And I also want to say, like, when it comes to the community oversight board, I can speak on it, but I'm just gonna speak from what is like public knowledge. So since day one, MNPD has been stopping us from actually doing any investigations.
Yeah.
Right. And so the issue has been since day one is no one knows what MNPD is doing. And since we're in a mayor-dominant system, right, all it would take is one executive order from the mayor to force anything to happen in our city.
Wow.
Yeah.
But we have a mayor that is more about managing the process, just kind of letting us fight it out.
Right.
So I think it's been affected to the point of I've at least been having this conversation more about what it means to have police accountability, right? Because the first way to structure is dialogue. But it hasn't been working in the way that the community has required it to work because of other public officials not forcing the hand of MNPD to show themselves.
Right.
I think everybody in this room and under the sound of my voice should be highly concerned that no one knows what MNPD is doing. And this is a police force that we know from the Gideon's Army Driving While Black report. We know a couple things. And if you want to check that out, just Google Gideon's Army Driving While Black, you'll get the PDF. But two key findings from that report is that so from 2011 to 2015, MNPD was pulling over people 7 times the national rate.
That's that quota everybody be joking about. Yeah. That's the quota right there, bro.
Think about it. If America's the most racist place on the planet, and that's 7 times the most racist, we're dealing with this is astronomical numbers, man.
Yo, it ain't even that many of us out here.
Right.
It's not. Yeah.
Pulled over 4 or 5 different times.
They pull over
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, you got some black in you, boy.
Yeah.
So that stat right there, MNPD is pulling over folks 7 times the national rate from 2011 to 2015. Mixed with between 2011 and 2015, this fact is going to be confusing. Okay, so feel free. So from 2011 to 2015, MNPD pulled over more black people in Nashville than there were black people over the age of 16.
That's crazy.
Insane.
Over the age of 16. So not babies, bro. But how many grown-up black people do we have in this city, bro? That's wild, G.
That is a cultural. That's wild. That's a cultural thing. That's let's get up. That means someone said we need to get this done. This is where we need to get it done at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I even have friends in the fire department, and they have their academy right next to the police. That say the entire time they in the academy, all they hear is gunshots going on.
They got fire range.
That's all they now, I don't know what's going on in there, but from what I'm hearing, that's all they hear from 7 to 3 when they leave. Yeah. It's just gunshots going on.
Yeah.
So when you add that with the fact that we're getting pulled over 7 times more, I mean, what is the goal here?
For sure.
And does that lead into, and I'm pretty sure it does, but a lot of people don't know this, but out north, what zip code is it 37208 has the highest incarceration rate in the country, G. In the country.
That's not because of the prevalency of crime. I want to get that right.
Yeah.
Right. We're not the murder capital.
We not, bro. Like it don't even be going down like that here.
It's not because they're inherently violent. It's not because of that shit, because that's what the political police PR machine will try to tell you. They try to fearmonger you into believing that black communities are more violent than other ones. No, it's literally because we're pulling people over 7 times the national rate. They had an operation called Keep Nashville Safe. And what's crazy is, I know you've had experience with this, Josh. You probably didn't know it was being intentionally did, but Surpass, right, created a program called Keep Streets Safe or Keep Nashville Safe, where they were flooding our neighborhoods with police officers between 8 and 12.
That's crazy.
Now tell me what's happening between 8 and 12. Motherfuckers getting off.
You already know.
And they getting pulled over on their way home.
Yep.
Or to work.
Not doing that in Brentwood.
No, they definitely not doing that in Brentwood.
Also, we already know who really got the pack out this motherfucker,
Right?
And they ain't even getting pulled over,
Right?
No.
You know the majority of. So another one that's even wilder is that I think it was something like 94+% black men were asked for a search.
That's a fact.
And less than 5% of the time they came back with something. So they ain't even at between 2011 and 2015. The reason I'm referencing because that was the last time MMPD had his books open, and look what we caught them doing.
And that was what? How many years ago was that?
5.
That's 5. So
what's been going on this last 5? Yeah.
We done had Trump in for 4.
Right.
Yeah.
So like that, and so that's the context that we talking about when it comes to Nashville. But I want to say this: since we have all this shit happening, very specifically in North Nashville, into our homes, we are positioned to get freedom right now. But it has to happen now. Seize the time. It has to happen now. Yeah. And so what I'm here to really tell folks, and the message that I'm trying to get out is that it is freedom now. Spread the word because it's time. You know what I'm saying? It's time. We gotta build. We gotta figure out how to. Even with Gideon's Army, we have a program called Violence Interruption, where it's literally just like LT, Hambino, a couple of other what we call credible messengers that got out the mud but figured out how to change their life. They're literally out canvassing to mediate conflict so people ain't got conflicts. Because we know that we have disproportionate contact with people. The more times we touch them, the more likely to get shot.
And so it's so weird because that's almost like it's like calling your abusive uncle when somebody bullies you or something. Yeah. It's like, why I gotta call this dude? He abused me all the time, but that's the only person I got.
They mere presence is an escalation. Yeah. They pulling up with the thing. You know what
Yeah.
Like,
I ain't never had I've never been out north and had one of them say, hey, how can I help you?
No, it's always
salary though.
It's always what's the problem?
Right.
Or where you going?
Where you going?
What's going on?
Where you coming from?
You look familiar. I got that one a few times. I look familiar.
Well, you do. Look familiar.
For sure.
But
and I want to say that what y'all talking about is like also like the power of PR machine, right? Police come after the fact. So they really can't do law enforcement. What they do is order maintenance. Right. They maintaining the social order by getting our folks the fuck up out of there. So with our programs with Gideon's Army, like I said before, we're trying to dismantle, disrupt, destroy, defund the school to prison pipeline. And so what that means is we literally need to start building alternative systems of accountability amongst ourselves, because we can't have this conversation and not talk about how motherfuckers be hurting each other. Right. You know what I'm saying?
That's why we started off this thing with Tory Lanez got to get the hell up out of here. Yeah. Because we can't let niggas like that slide. Because if you out here shooting black queens and we letting that slide, we can't even talk about the cops.
No, for sure.
Right. You know what I mean? Because you really on the same vibe as them.
For sure. And that's why when we talk about like alternative forms of accountability and really repaying harm, that's why I gotta start with us. Like I know for a fact if I'm ready to go, like I mean I'm about it. It's some shit that done popped off. I'm escalated. I'm hot. I'm enraged. You know what I'm saying? And Patrick or Josh pull up, I'm not gonna want to do no harm to my brothers. So I might immediately be like, let me just listen real fast. Yeah. And the more time you get from a situation, the less likely you are to go out to do the dirt. We call it violence interruption. We call buy time. As much time as you need. I had to pull up on little homie the other day. He was about to go do some dirt because listen to this shit, some little boy shit. One of his homies done violated a guy that he was dating, but the homie didn't know. It was his gal.
So he ready to risk it all, bro.
Right. So I'm just like, hold on, bro. Like before we go do this, let's get on the game. Let's play the Madden. You know what I'm saying? Let's just chill out. And through the conversation, he realized I should have told my homie that this was my guy.
That was my guy.
Hello.
And so we was able to
communication.
Like, all just by chilling.
So hold on 2 seconds. So you've mentioned Gideon Army like several times. So elaborate more on like Gideon's Army, what you guys do, how to get involved, that sort of thing for the people who don't know.
Yeah. So Gideon's Army is a grassroots organization. We're dedicated to it, and our mission is to dismantle the school to prison pipeline. We won't quit on our children. We'll do whatever we got to do to make sure it ends. So we were started by Rashida Fatua. She was a student out south. I mean, she was a teacher out south, and one of her students were getting gunned down. Right, they weren't making it. Very specifically, she lost one named Lamar Hughes. who literally told her, unfortunately, that he wasn't gonna make it to 18, and he got gunned down at like 16.
Oh wow.
So she stepped out of this classroom, started this organization to really combat gun violence. And so where we are now is we started several different programs. And those programs was born out of the demands with the Driving While Black report. So for 2015, Gideon's Army entered into coalition with a lot of black-led organizations. BLM Nashville at the time, NAACP, No Exceptions, Ride to the Core, Free Hearts. So we entered in a coalition, and through that coalition, we was able to produce a 200-page report called the Driving While Black report. And that report had 12 key findings, but also had a ton of demands. And a couple of those demands have been met, right? Not because of city council members, not because of mayors, although they may have wanted to do it, but have been done by community organizing, right? One of those demands was increased transparency. So out of the Driving While Black Coalition, we have the group called Community Oversight Now that is going, that does that leg work to get that 64% on that vote. So we get community oversight now. And now what we have launched in the past year is our violence interruption program, which is a global program. Just want to center that, right? Violence interruption is used across the world. So like I said before, some of these things are kept away from us because we don't know to demand it.
Right.
Then we will never get politicians who run on it.
Right.
Right. So violence interruption is used across the globe to stop intercommunity, interpersonal, intercommunity violence with what we call credible messengers. So they have a pretty good one in South Africa. They have whole streets in New York that haven't had gun violence in over like the last 5 years. They have them across the globe. One real dope place is South Africa. Like the biggest gang there is called the Americans. So if you wear an American flag, they snatch you the fuck out of it.
It's curtains.
But they've been like really successful in South America and just across the globe. So that's one of our programs. That's manned by two of our violence interrupters, Hambino Godbody, Larry Turnley, Chef Mike True. I don't want to leave him out. And a couple of my other brothers that we on the grind every day, just trying to make sure we catch what we can catch, de-escalate what we can de-escalate, and then build peace what we can build peace. And that's just one of our programs. We also have the free clothing, right? And the idea behind the free clothing is we want to make sure we can give people basic needs. Right? So also we just purchased a store. We're trying to get that up and off the ground and launch. That's on 25th, I think. That's in the middle. It's like a little grocery store. We're gonna turn it into something that's like a grocery store, but also like a wellness place.
Is that by Fashion Force?
No, that's what a free clothing store is.
Okay.
That's Dodge City area.
Yeah.
So,
out north.
And so we also got a couple more violence interrupters in Dodge City, but we really just pushing the line as much as we can. We got some dope brothers on there.
Yeah, I would say that was probably the most prominent force when that tornado hit too.
Yeah,
For sure.
I was just about to
Man,
say
listen, I work at Nissan headquarters, right?
I'm getting tired to think about this tornado.
Dude, that was before we even knew what COVID was.
You feel me? I'm at Nissan headquarters, and big shout out to Gideon's Army because several of my coworkers who are of lighter pigmentation, so to speak, they was bigging them up. And like I heard them like several cubicles down, and they was like, "Oh my God, we just love what Gideon's Army is doing for the city and for the people that need help." And they were super excited. And I'm just eavesdropping, and I'm just like, yo, my boys is out there doing their damn thing, because when you start getting others to start recognizing that people need help, that's how you know that your mission and everything that you're doing is actually working. And these are like white women in like their 50s and 60s, G, and they was like bigging y'all up big time, bro. So
in my comedy scene, Nashville is the comedy scene probably 90% white, and every person, and they like liberal, leaning toward liberal, leftist, whatever. Every one of them is going to Gideon's Army, bro. So like meaning if you're a white person that hates racism and you don't know what to do,
bro, y'all are the first name that come out of people's mouths,
because it's solidified.
Yep.
As opposed to, I'm not gonna waste my time, my money. It's legit.
Yeah.
Ain't gonna be no appropriation shit. It's gonna be some real shit.
It's gonna be some real shit.
So when they come to me, they say, "Hey, Josh, what I need to go to?" I just sent them the link immediately.
Yeah.
It's game time. So
Yeah.
before the COVID even hit, before George Floyd, let the streets know, Gideon's Army been out here for a minute doing real groundwork that ain't fun, really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm just glad Nashville got him.
No, I appreciate that, Josh. And I don't take that lightly. Where we come from. You know what I'm saying? So I don't take that. I'm extremely humbled and like grateful for the amount of energy that people are sending our way. Like I'm extremely grateful, and I just want to also say like we are dedicated to making sure it is black as fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
that's a fact.
We still rub people the wrong way. They come close, they be like, "Oh, we didn't know we was fucking with this," and it's like, "No, you won't fuck with it." And I also just pose this, and this is a rhetorical question: why aren't we getting funded? If we're supplying things like safe streets to the city, right?
Yeah.
It's like why aren't we getting funded? Which is wild, and that's really what like, and that brings us to now, like when we talk about the dollars in a city budget. So we entered into another coalition recently. We call it the Nashville People's Budget Coalition. It is Gideon's Army, Workers' Dignity, Song Nashville, Free Hearts, Riding to the Core, and a couple other groups, Leisure, National Economic Justice Alliance, and most of those are black-led organizations that are just working in different areas. And we entered into the coalition, and we call it the Nashville People's Budget Coalition. And the reason why is because when we looked at the budget that was coming, it was
enough.
It was hell. Josh, hold on. Let's sit right here for a second. I gotta write it down so I can make sure I get my facts right. So the way our city government is come up is structured. When it comes to the budget season, two people can present a budget: the chair of the finance committee, that was Bob Mendez, and the mayor. Right, and then they come before city council and they vote on it. All right, and so what we did was we took that budget. Just to give you an idea, it was 200 pages. It took 7 adults like a month to really track and see where the money was coming.
It's hard to read a 200 page book.
Right.
Some shit that you like.
And that shit was written for an accountant, Josh. That motherfucker like, yo, I don't know what.
Yeah, like
I don't know what this spreadsheet shit is.
Wow.
Spreadsheet don't make sense. But what we figured out once we really crunched the numbers, every single department was getting a pay cut except one.
Who's
police.
That?
Right, and then we mix that with a capital spending budget, which is already approved. That don't have nothing to do with our city council budget. They was already getting invested in from that way. So it's just like, okay, you telling me we gonna ask schools to tighten their belt, we gonna ask health department to tighten their belt, we gonna ask housing, firefighters, we're gonna ask everybody to tighten their belt, except these police officers.
You gotta wonder why.
So that don't make sense. So what we did was we took that information, we took the budgets, packaged it, made it real small, made it consumable, got it down to like a 5-page report with graphs and shit, where it was thoroughly laying out where people was going. We got on the streets, disseminated that information. At the same time, we took a survey, right? Like, what would you do with this money if you had it at your will? Like a 4-question survey, try to break it down, because at the core of the People's Budget Coalition is making sure that we have a people-centered process. Submitting a 200-page budget is not people-centered.
Right.
No.
Nobody with a 9 to 5 can do that.
Not at all.
And make you not care.
Right.
But these are dollars, though.
Right.
You know, you took these shits from me.
Right.
So I deserve to know where they go. So out of that, we surveyed about 10,000 people, and people decided to take the money that the police were getting, defund the police by 10%, and pour it into 5 things. And I bet you can guess it. What do you think? Number 1?
Education.
Okay, schools. 1. What else?
Healthcare.
2.
Housing.
3.
Will public transportation be another one?
4, and then the last one was Gideon's Army violence interruption. They chose all of those things. We took that 10,000 folks, right?
Yeah.
We took that information, gave it to city council, and they decided to still go ahead. And so that was a watershed moment for Nashville, right? We found out a couple things, right? The ones who were talking about that they were progressive ended up abstaining to vote. So they didn't vote yes or no, they just abstained, which in the moment,
which means nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
If anything, it might even mean you against it.
Yeah, it might mean you against it. Yeah.
If I tell you, do you like racism or not, and you abstain.
You like, no, I'm not gonna answer that. It's kind of like,
it's black and white.
But so to prepare for next year's budget fight, we've been holding these things we call people movement assemblies, which is where people literally come together and have a conversation, diagnose the problem, and then really come up with like collective community action plans. What we gonna do after this?
Mm-hmm.
And so what we're doing on September 12th, the Nashville People's Budget Coalition and Gideon's Army, we're holding a Black Nashville Assembly only for Black folks, right? And in that Black Nashville Assembly, we're gonna identify the top 3 issues that we're facing out here. We're gonna come up with a community analysis. What the fuck is causing this? Like, who we need to? What's the targets here?
Right.
Yeah.
And then 3, we're gonna structure and make sure that we start laying the groundwork for a community plan.
Yeah.
Right. Because it's clear with this city, the change is gonna come from the people, and the people that need to be changed are those white folks, and the way they're gonna be changed is through Black hands.
All right, now real quick, just to we coming close to our end time.
No.
If I'm an average Joe, I work at a factory, I got 3 kids and a girl, and I care, but I don't know what the hell's going on. What should I do to get involved and to help Gideon's Army, to help the Black movement, just to help change, period? What can I do tonight, today?
So I'm organizing through and through. So I say, like, plug in to Gideon's Army, follow us on Gideon's Army United on all platforms, plug in to the Nashville People's Budget, but also talk that politics shit, bro. Like, we ain't gotta agree. Like, when we talk about unity, we're not talking about uniformity. We're talking about where do we agree at. But in order for us to know where we agree, we gotta have defined politics. You gotta come on the table.
Yeah.
What's your politics, bro? What you believe in? What you fucking with?
What you care
about?
Yeah.
Like, I care about that too. All right, what we gonna do next?
Mm-hmm.
That's very basic, bro. We gotta start talking.
And you're right about we don't agree, because you look at it right now, Democrats and Republicans don't agree on everything, but at the end of the day, they care about America and capitalism, and they're gonna defend it to the end.
For sure. For sure. And our people are, and let me just get this. Like I was telling my homie this, like the Black liberation struggle has to be anti-capitalist. Right? Because the thing that built this capitalist system that is harming us is the exploitation of Black bodies. Yeah. So it's always going to be that. That's a fact. So if we can talk about Black business, but we got to understand this ain't no free market, bro. This monopoly money they playing with. Like I said, my family got here with the Ingrams. We ain't got Ingram money.
Right.
You can't tell me that all of them motherfuckers was lazy.
I tell people all the time, if it's 10 people and $100, one person shouldn't have 99. And if he got 99, and if he got 99, we gonna have to rob him and spread it out.
That's what I'm saying. And we gotta enter into that. And like, if I can just like say this right here, and I want this to be heard, they are ignoring your peaceful protest.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's a fact.
For sure.
And mind you, anything we do, they gonna. So you see peaceful protests, you see angry protests. They not with any of that. Right. There's a problem every time. They hate Kaepernick. They hate us burning the Capitol down.
Yep.
They hate LeBron put on a shirt. They hate us, period.
Yeah.
So we just gotta make, we gotta find out what we're gonna do and just do it, and then just ignore that bull.
Yeah.
So really just plug into that Black Nashville Assembly, man, because we need to start dialogue as the first step to structure.
Yeah.
Unity. Before unity, you do struggle. Before struggle, we study. So we're gonna do that together. We're gonna study together. We're gonna struggle together, and then we're gonna unify around our common cause.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So again, you said that on September 12th. What time?
12th. So we're gonna do it at Halley Park at 3:30.
Okay.
3:30.
Before you do that, register. You can go to bit.ly/615BNA and just register. Just in case you want to go online, because we're gonna have it online and we're gonna have it in person.
Okay. Can we add that to the live?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
Well, thank you so much. This conversation has definitely been very informative and enlightening.
For sure.
And I hope that each and every one of you have taken a few nuggets from this and are going to move into action. Again, where can they follow Gideon's Army?
So if you want to plug in with me, you can follow me at Nashville Red on all social media. That comes from Malcolm X. His name Detroit Red before.
That's a fact.
Nah, wild boy shit.
That's a fact.
So like, feel free if you got any questions. Like, I'm trying to have this conversation all the time. I know our people need more of a personal touch.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to build a deep relationship with me, feel free to hit me up, plug me in, DM me, do all that shit. Let's get it. But I ain't gonna be on no anti-black shit or no anti-woman shit. But still, hit my line. We can build, yo. I just want to say that again. It's time. Freedom is on the horizon, but we gonna have to pull each other up to get there, my nigga.
Yep.
Secondly, like, definitely follow Gideon's Army United on all things. Follow the Nashville People's Budget Coalition and just like plug in where you can, man. We need you. Like we gotta do whatever we can to make sure that next black body don't hit the ground in all forms and fashions. In order to do that, it's just gonna take movement right now. So if you sitting at home and you got a skill, that skill is required in the movement, and it's gonna be required after all of this falls down. We're gonna need it.
Yes.
Can't build a society. We need everything.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a fact.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in live. You can follow us at, go ahead, Pat.
Your curls is just popping right now. That's just,
Man.
that's just she hit that turn
She
like
out here.
that. I said, damn.
But y'all can follow me at Schoolboy P
Please.
on Instagram, Twitter. Also follow at Creative Socialite Group.
All right, Josh, your turn.
Follow me at Sir Joshua Black. And also, we trying to change Hadley Park to Nashville Freedom Riders Park. And they and the park board right now is being real
Racist.
yeah, they being real and they
Anti-black.
and they just being real extra. They're becoming an obstacle, and we put them there. So I need y'all to email Monique.odom@nashville.com and express why we need that change, because that's a given why we need that. So yeah.
Yes, awesome. Please, please, please do that. And
Did you do that yet?
Yes,
I texted you about that.
you did.
All right.
Thank
I was trying to see
you.
if you was anti-black. All right.
Anyway, you can follow me
Girls
at
going crazy.
Bubbly Beauty 3 on Instagram. You can follow 28th and Jefferson podcast on Instagram as well. We will be live for our episode, so make sure that you tune in. We'll let you know when the next episode will be recorded. And as always, like, subscribe, share,
Zach P got a
and
baby on the way. Gotta talk about that.
oh my gosh.
He said,
And arrest the cops that killed Breonna Taylor. We out.
Zach P said, for what? I'm gonna wear condom for what?
We're live. You can't do that.
That's real
Wheezy
talk.
out of
We need
here.
more black
bro.
life out here. He's providing that. I respect it. Zach P, the producer.
You can't do that.